Give us a brief introduction to yourself.
At the heart, I would say I'm an entrepreneur, although I currently manage a fund in Kenya called GroFin Kenya, which we're a fund manager and growth financier that supports the small and medium enterprise segment. But to stay on Rishi for a bit, I spent a number of years in banking in New York. After that, I launched a business in the UK in the pharmaceutical sector, which I sold off after 5 years and moved to Kenya, after which I joined GroFin. Personally, I enjoy water sports and martial arts. I have a small family, 2 daughters. My wife and I like to spend a lot of time at the beach. My passion and purpose, I would say, professionally, would be I have a passion for entrepreneurship and the small and medium enterprise space. And I enjoy rolling up my sleeves and getting my hands dirty and helping them operationally, financially, and strategically in growing their businesses.
What are GroFin Kenya's objectives?
GroFin is much larger than GroFin Kenya. We have 10 offices across Pan-Africa, 2 in West Africa, Ghana and Nigeria, 4 in East Africa, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda. We have a couple of offices in South Africa and an office in Zambia now. We have a few offices in the Middle East, Oman, Dubai, Jordan, and we are a fund manager for a number of development finance institutions such as the IFC, the CDC, FMO, Proparco, to name a few, and some foundations such as the Skoll Foundation, the Shell Foundation, and the Deutsche Bank Foundation. GroFin is on a private equity model. We're an investment vehicle that invests our investors' monies in the small and medium enterprise space, looking to drive commercial, good governance, environmental and social impact.
What do you offer?
GroFin's offering is quite unique in that, generally speaking, as a fund, we offer access to finance. But our vision is actually to see committed entrepreneurs and business people with good businesses and good ideas able to access the finance and business support they require to succeed, and in doing so drive economic and social empowerment within their communities.
What do you think of the business environment?
Everybody wants to start their own business, so there's plenty of opportunities to support the small and medium enterprise space. It's a very exciting time, not just in Kenya but in East Africa.
Who do you target?
GroFin is not sector specific. We look at a number of different sectors across the spectrum, and just to give you an example, in Kenya we've invested in hotels, in schools, in restaurants, in franchises, in manufacturing, in transport. So I would say we're not sector specific. What we're interested in is looking at businesses, viable businesses that require growth finance, and looking at ways in which we can support them through business development support to achieve their milestones and actually achieve that sustainable and successful growth.
What makes you unique?
We don't just look at existing businesses. We will look at startups, we will look at buyouts, we will look at rescue finance on occasion, but really we do mainly focus on expansion. You know, business that's looking to scale, whether they're looking to buy equipment, if it's a factory, or acquire their factory premises, the land that they're on. Let me actually go through some of the criteria of what GroFin offers.
Yes, sure.
So we're a risk financier that typically provides 4 to 7 years medium-term capital. We make extensive use of customized debt instruments. We look at quasi-equity and equity as well. GroFin finance would be typically used for working capital, such as to fund inventory or raw materials, or fund your debtors, creditor terms, or operational finance. We structure appropriate finance, at times aligned to the cash flow, at times aligned to the growth and projections of the business. And in doing so, we also believe that the SME space needs more than just financial support. They need continuous business development support throughout the development stages of the business, as well as a more enabling environment which we're able to create for them through our networks and our support mechanisms. So I would say we're very much different. We invest in the business, help them grow strategically, not just with the finance, but also through mentorship and guidance and business development support.
How long do you support your clients?
Let's also remember that it's not necessarily just, as you mentioned, a loan. It's an investment into the business, and a medium term could be as short as 4 years or up to 7 years. But in structuring appropriate finance, we would actually have to look at the business in detail, conduct a due diligence to actually structure the right product for the business, whether that's going to be 4 years or 6 years or 7 years. But just to stay on that a little bit, working capital would typically be for a lesser period, maybe 4 to 5 years. If it's along the lines of equipment finance or vehicle finance, it would probably be related to amortization schedule, so probably 5 to 6 years. If it's construction finance, we would probably look at the longest tenor, probably up to about 7 years. As you know, construction projects would take a much longer period to complete.
Advice to startups in Kenya.
I would say that if startups or existing businesses looking to expand and acquire finance to expand, two things. Let's take one at a time. I would say entrepreneurs typically are very optimistic, and they tend to neglect the risk factors. That's where GroFin comes in. We help them manage risk, and a lot of the business plans we see, a lot of the entrepreneurs we engage with initially only see the bright side, and they actually need to look at all case scenarios as well as the risk side. So we help them engage in that front. The second thing I would say is a lot of the entrepreneurs, startups, existing businesses that we look to finance, they come to us with interesting business plans and ideas, but they don't have their records and financials in order. I would say that in order to, if you're looking to scale and develop a sustainable business, we'd encourage you to actually have that kind of discipline where you actually put together your financial plan in place, you have your historical records in place, and approach us with that history, present, and projections of the future.
Your experience on selling your company.
So this was in the UK. This was a pharmaceutical branded product as well as wholesale business, and it was a startup actually. Interestingly enough, I managed to raise angel finance to grow the business, to start up the business and grow it, and in due course create a good distribution network, a good knowledge of the brand in the UK pharmaceutical market, and it was an opportunity for me to actually realize a payout and sell it off.
Do you buy into companies?
So the answer is yes. We can look at a number of different scenarios in terms of financial products, whatever is the best and most appropriate finance structure. And taking an equity investment in your business could be an interesting option, but it's contingent on a number of different criteria, exits, the shareholding, board seats, etc. But we could look at all those kind of scenarios to see what's the most appropriate financial structure. We could look at something more hybrid, a quasi-equity structure, which is more of a mezzanine finance structure. I won't go into the technicals of that, but we could look at the whole spectrum of just plain vanilla debt instrument to an equity participation.
Your thoughts on an elevator pitch?
You do get a lot from what you call an elevator pitch. If somebody can actually speak very succinctly about what they're looking to do,
yes,
and it piques your interest in 5 minutes, rather than somebody who relies on, actually a lot of business plans we receive are entrepreneurs rely on consultants to prepare these for them. I would encourage the entrepreneur who's supposedly involved in all aspects of the business to actually prepare this on their own and approach us and know their business plan back to front, know their financials back to front.